Hello, my name is Alyssa Bishop. In this presentation, we will investigate driving under the influence incident reports in Gainesville, Florida, and use data to develop insights. The purpose of this presentation is to draw trends in the city's DUI incident reports and identify steps to combat their occurrences through community education and communication. Much of the information used in this presentation comes from a dataset provided by the Gainesville Police Department, or GPD, and it contains crime incident report records for which GPD officers have responded to over the course of 12 years, from 2011 to 2023. It is also important to note that this dataset does not encompass all incidents or incident reports during this time period, but rather an extensive snapshot of crimes committed. While these crimes were reported and responded to by GPD officers, there are likely many other offenses that were not reported and responded to. Thus, this information will not show all crimes committed, but rather give us a good understanding of their likely trends. Before we begin, I wanted to provide a brief rundown of what we will cover. First, we'll begin with an overview to establish the legal meaning of a DUI before exploring its prevalence in Gainesville. After that, we'll dive into the data to determine key findings before ending with suggested actions that you, as members of the community, can take based on this new insight. It is important that we first understand the legal meaning of a DUI. Under Florida law, a driving under the influence, or DUI, offense means driving under the influence of alcoholic beverages, chemical substances, or controlled substances. It is proved by impairment of normal faculties or an unlawful blood alcohol or breath alcohol level of 0.08 or above, and the penalties upon conviction are the same regardless of the manner in which the offense is proven. In other words, a DUI means a person is operating a vehicle while intoxicated by any number of substances. From an onlooker's perspective, typical signs of a DUI incident include quick acceleration or deacceleration, weaving or zigzagging across the road, tailgating, or running stop signs and signals. Usually, when a person witnesses these signs and suspects a driver might be under the influence, they will dial 911 to report it. When that occurs, the operator will identify and notify the appropriate law enforcement agency to respond. Like I mentioned earlier, the dataset we are exploring includes incident reports from the past 12 years, so there are over 200 different types of incidents listed. These include offenses such as retail petty theft, trespassing, burglary, and many, many more. This chart, which lists incident type on the y-axis and their counts on the x-axis, show a snapshot of only the top 29 incidents based on count. We can see that retail petty theft is the most frequent offense, and that DUIs are further down. However, since this is only a fraction of all incident reports, this makes it evident that DUIs do rank in the top 10% of all incidents reported, meaning it is a prominent issue in our community which deserves attention. Now that we have a better idea of where DUI incident reports stand in relation to others, it's time to dive into their specifics. This chart was created by separating each DUI incident report based on the day of the week on which it occurred. So the x-axis lists weekdays, and the y-axis lists incidents. As you can see, there are significantly lower incidents in the middle of the week, with the majority culminating on the weekend, specifically on Saturday. Truthfully, this might not be too surprising, considering many people tend to have weekends off of work or school, so more time is devoted to going out or partying. Also, Saturdays in the fall are when Florida football games occur, so that is another likely reason for individuals to be out under the influence during that time of the week. However, while this trend might seem obvious, it is still important for us to identify so that we can be known when most GPD officers are having to respond to DUIs throughout the week. Moving along a similar line as days of the week, this chart showcases the same DUI incident report data, but this time listing what time of the day the incidents occurred. As you can see, the x-axis expresses the time beginning at 12 a.m. and going all the way to 11 p.m. and the y-axis expresses the number of incidents. As one may assume, there are very few during the daytime hours from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, once it gets past 5 p.m., we can see that the number of reports starts to increase significantly. Interestingly, there is a significant spike in DUI incident reports at 2 a.m., followed by a steep decline that continues decreasing into the morning hours. This leads us to wonder why such a striking increase exists at this time. So I've identified several viable possibilities. First, many bars located in the heart of Gainesville actually close at or right around 2 a.m. Some of the more popular bars with this specific closure time include That 80s Bar, Balls, the Midnight Underground, the Arcade Bar, the Dime, and Salty Dog Saloon. Thus, it is very likely that the spike in DUI incident reports at 2 a.m. might be correlated with the time in which these bars close for the night, because people who may be under the influence must leave and might hit the road to head home. Second, it is likely that GPD officers have identified areas of interest where the likelihood of coming across a driver under the influence is higher. This may be in the form of a DUI checkpoint, where officers stop vehicles one by one or periodically to check for sobriety, or in the form of simply being present in a given area and ready to spot or respond to an incident report. Now, because of this, you might naturally be wondering where exactly in Gainesville the DUI incident reports occurred. This graph plots all of the DUI incidents by location throughout the city. This is a zoomed out map, but this line right here is Interstate 75. Here is the University of Florida campus. Right here is the Gainesville Police Department. And here is downtown Gainesville, and specifically Main Street. Each blue dot is a DUI incident, and it is clear here that there is a heavier concentration right around downtown and University Avenue, the road running just above campus. This map helps us visualize just how likely it is for the bar closure at 2 a.m. and the officer readiness to have an impact on this data's results. Notice how close the police department is to the clumps of incidents. And also, remember the bars I listed earlier? Well, if you look them up online, you'll discover they are exactly where our concentration of DUI incidents are. This is a screenshot directly from Google Maps. Here is the University of Florida campus. The police department is right about here, and Main Street is here, which is also where most of the bars are located. So again, it is not hard to see that these bars being close together and closing around the same time is likely correlated to the spike in 2 a.m. reports, as well as the concentration that we see on this chart. Now, let's recap what this data has shown us. Insight number 1 is that DUIs rank in the top 10% of all incidents reported, meaning it is prevalent in the city. Number 2 is that DUI incident reports are highest on the weekend, with Saturdays experiencing the most. Number 3 is that DUI incident reports spike at 2 a.m. when lots of bars close, and relatively few incidents are present during daytime hours. And number 4 is that downtown sees the highest concentration of DUI incident reports, specifically around Main Street, where most of the bars are concentrated. With these discoveries, we can now identify several actions that you as community members can take to combat DUI incidents. First, you can use the information you learned from this presentation to educate. Reach out to local leaders, encourage them to share the effectiveness of public DUI campaigns and strengthen areas of need, and identify online resources that can be used within your own social circles. Second, local organizations can partner with one another to make an impact. Whether you yourself are a local small business owner or simply an employee at a business, encourage partnerships that can make a difference. This might include bars partnering with GPD to implement safety checks or informational handouts created and shared to bargoers by a local print shop. Third, promote the existing and new resources on your personal social media accounts to reach more community members. Ensure our citizens, whether long-term or short-term, are aware of how they can stay safe and make the right choices. Finally, please remember that the Gainesville Police Department is a great resource to you. If you think you have witnessed an active DUI incident, be sure to call dispatch at the number provided. Or if you simply want to learn more about ways in which you can take action to help strengthen the community, contact their crime prevention department at this number. They exist to help facilitate the education, partnership, and promotion of actions we just talked about. So I encourage you to spend some time considering how you can help facilitate the decrease in quantity and concentration of DUI incident reports Gainesville has experienced. Thank you.